We all know about weak hand training, but what a lot of players don't realize is they have a weak foot, and it's keeping you from being a potent scorer on offense, being effective off the dribble, and a ton more. I'm gonna go over the different things you'll wanna focus on and work on to develop your weak foot. I've seen these same secrets, techniques, and drills take players from being not so good on offense to absolutely dominating defenders. Actually, one of those players was me. I used to have a really, really weak foot. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm gonna have 2 more videos that are gonna help you a ton with both your weak hand dribbling and your weak hand layups. So, which foot is gonna be the weak foot? Big question, right? Well, for 95% of players, I found it's the same across the board. There's a few outliers, but also I've noticed that on certain moves, it might flip. The other foot might be weaker for certain moves, but I'd say for about 90% of moves, it's gonna be the same side foot that's your weak foot that's holding you back. For me, I'm a lefty. My weak foot is my left foot. And that's how it's gonna be for most players. If you're a lefty, it's probably your left foot that's gonna be a little more weak. If you're a righty, it's your right foot that's probably gonna be a little more weak. And here's why, a couple examples. Usually, if I take a jab step to sell a fake, I'm gonna be really comfortable using this foot, whether it's a regular jab step, an inside out, right? Because a lot of my moves, I like to sell fakes this way and then come back this way. Could also even be between the legs in my Tim Hardaway U-Tap 2-step into a cross. I'm jabbing with this foot. Or even if I'm splitting down, I'm usually gonna be thinking more dominantly with this foot and stepping out. I can still use my other foot and sell fakes, but it just doesn't feel quite as sharp, and it's definitely not quite as quick or as coordinated or on balance. So because of that, I don't use it as much. I was always working on my weak hand, working on my weak hand, working on my weak hand, and doing a lot of dribbling drills where I'm kind of stationary. And I got really comfortable. I was like, okay, my right hand feels strong, but I still just can't get past my guy. What's going on? Finally clicked with me. I don't feel uncomfortable doing the dribble move. I just feel like I can't get past it. Well, that's what really gets you past your defender. It's your feet, right? Your legs. So here's some things you absolutely need to do if you want to make that weak foot strong and explode your scoring, your ability to beat defenders, create space, all that stuff. One of the biggest keys you'll want to pay attention to with all the drills and moves, what your angle of your foot is. For some of them, we're to take jab steps out to the side. You don't want to step with your foot pointing quite that way. You want to have your foot kind of pointing more so you can push off sideways. Also for our cross body step, want our foot angled more sideways, kind of like a 45-degree angle, not directly forward, because if we have it directly forward, it's harder to push off that heel and come back quickly and in control. It's one of those little habits that you might have with your weak foot that's gonna slow things down. I'm gonna show you with my left hand, since most people are probably gonna be this way for what's gonna be their weak foot is gonna be their right foot. All we're gonna do for this is a simple drill, and it's a pattern, a sequence, and you can use this with different moves. For basics, you can just start with regular dribble and step out, stepping out with that foot. Left hand dribbles, right foot steps out, boom, step back in, and then dribble as you take a cross body step. Stepping out and dribble, try to synchronize that time so the ball hits the ground with the foot almost the same time. A lot of times when you're dribbling, it's gonna be a certain foot that you're used to having hit the ground when the ball bounces. So this will help you get out of that mold. So same time, foot touches the ground, ball hits the ground. Step back in, cross body step. Same time the ball touches the ground, foot hits the ground. For the cross body step, think about it being more forward, but slightly to the opposite. So it's coming across your body. So right foot to left side and then stepping back. So you would just rep something like this out, and you can even work on just going all the way out, all the way across without having it step back in. But you can also work on that pattern of having it come back in and hitting, in and hitting, in and hitting with the ball synchronized. Once you get better, work on out, forward, out, forward. Once you got that down, if you want advanced things, you absolutely can do that with different moves. You could do like a between the legs, stepping out, crossover, stepping forward, setting back up, out, cross body, out, cross body. And you can mix it up with any move, really. You could do crossover behind the back. You could do an inside out regular dribble. You can go ahead and mix out those moves, which is working on that pattern of out, across, and trying to improve your speed and just your body control with it. Power tip I got for you, stay on the balls of your feet. Try not to step so much with your heel. Step more so your heel's just barely off the ground. That'll help make things a little bit more quick and controlled for you. Next drill is very important, something you definitely have to do. You can't just be good at this footwork pattern. That's not quite enough. That's your base to get you started. If you really want to start beating defenders, you've got to be able to create something from it, right? So what you really want to focus on from there is 2 different drills. You want to start from about the 3-point line, I would say, depending on how old you are. If you have shorter legs, maybe step in a little bit. If you're longer legs or just more athletic, you can come out a little further. And I really really like to use a cone as a marker to see where I'm at. Go from that footwork pattern, from whatever move you picked, and try to get from that cone, and from this step, you get one more bounce to get all the way into the hoop for a layup. This is gonna force from this jab step, this step to be longer, quicker, more explosive, and then once it lands, getting that ability to push off of it more powerfully. Take the cone then and move it back a little further once you've got, okay, I can get there in one bounce easy and get a good, clean layup. Not a floater, a layup, to start challenging yourself and see how far you can get. Second drill you're gonna wanna do is to work on some sort of a counter from it. So you want to set up two cones perpendicular to the hoop. So if I'm in a straight line to the hoop right here, a 90-degree angle to this other cone. And we're going to go with the same footwork pattern. We're going to go step out, across. You could do any move. You could just do a regular dribble. You could do that. You could do inside out, between legs, whatever it is you're rolling with, keep rolling with it. Go into this cross body step. And we want to set this cone kind of far out to the side so we can work on our ability to explode. So that's not nearly far enough for me. What we want to try to do is get squared with that second cone. So here, here, here. I want to try to push out sort of like a side step, almost a step back. It's going to be somewhat in between there to get to that cone and get squared. And then from there, you can go into different things to work on your ability to transition. You can come from it and go into a jump shot. You can go from it and come here, go into a crossover, or you could even go into it and go into a drive. Next thing we're gonna do is gonna develop that same foot for a move that'll send defenders flying, and then we're gonna work on another move using actually what's usually your strong foot. In this instance, it'll be your weak foot for another move that's great for creating separation and sending defenders flying. I found this specific move gave me a lot of problems and a lot of players I was training problems, and once we developed it, it added a lot to their games, added a lot to my game. It's the stiff leg, okay? If you're a righty, you would do this with the left hand dribbling. If you're a lefty, you would do this with the right hand dribbling. Left hand dribbling, right foot stepping across. That same cross body step we've been using. You don't need to set up this one up though with that out jab. We just want to go right from more of a squared stance and go right into this. What we want to do is make sure we're stepping long, low, and explosive. So a lot of times when I see players do a movement like this, they're really upright. That's not going to work so well for sending defenders flying and creating separation. You got to get this back knee within at least, I'd say about 6 to 8 inches of the ground, ideally longer and lower, so it's boom, coming almost all the way to the ground. You can see the difference on how low I get, how I drop my shoulders down, how it sells the fake. But it's something that you have to practice. One big thing you'll want to focus on though, for me, I was actually working on it this way, and what I found is I would kind of land on the outside of my heel, not a very good position like this. So, you know, it would be kind of a slow, uncontrolled step. Trying to focus on getting on the ball of your foot as quick as you can, so you're not stepping on your heel and stomping into that step. That'll make it quicker and sharper, and that'll make the fake work a lot better. It's just something you should rep out. So you don't need to do this to the hoop or anything like that. You can just come here, boom, come back. Boom, come back, okay? Just repping it out, pushing the speed on it. The last thing you should practice, and this is the exception to the rule, this is where your typically strong foot is probably gonna give you more problems. So for me, I'm a righty, doing my snatch back with the right foot gave me problems. So here's some things that you can focus on to help you improve it. I'm actually gonna show you with the left hand though, because I'm sure most people watching are actually probably righties. For this move, it's gonna be the left foot that's weak. Focus on, kind of like the last drill, that it's a long, low, lunging step. Also focus that it's quick, keeping your feet inches from the ground. You don't wanna take a big, high step, and you don't want your foot dragging. From there, you can go into the snatch back with a regular crossover, stepping back in as quick as you can. You can go reverse between the legs, or you can go behind the back. But the points you want to pay attention to is that step's long, low, that you're landing on the ball of your foot, and also look at the angle of this foot. I want to step so my foot's angled more here, even though my torso is positioned this way. If I were to swivel my torso, we'd want everything squared, kind of like a 45-degree angle from the hoop. That's going to allow us to push off harder and more explosively. Pushing back here is kind of tough on your joints. I would just recommend you rep this out. Go into the move, boom, step back up. Go into the move, step back up. Here's that video on how to improve your weak hand dribbling. Here's the video to help you with your weak hand layup. Check out the free workout. It's the top link in the description down below. That's gonna help you with your ball handling ability and especially getting that weak foot down. Straight up thousands of players. I'm sure it'll help you too. Subscribe and click the bell icon so you can catch the newest videos, and I'll see you in one of these 2 videos.